Dear students, welcome back to my channel School Success. Today in this video, we'll be covering the chapter Saviours of the Train. I'll be taking up the message conveyed by the story and all the question answers of this chapter. So let's get started. The message conveyed by the story is the importance of quick thinking, bravery, and resourcefulness in the face of unexpected challenges. The siblings, Roberta, also named Bobby, Peter, and Phyllis, encounter a potentially dangerous situation when they witness trees and rocks collapsing onto the railway line. Instead of panicking or running away, they take decisive action to prevent a potential disaster. Peter, the eldest brother, immediately recognizes the danger and understands the urgency of alerting the oncoming train. Despite the odds and the limited time, the children use their creativity and resourcefulness to style makeshift red flags from their scarves, intending to signal the train to stop. Their quick thinking and bravery result in preventing a disaster, and the children become heroes praised for their prompt action and ingenuity. The story highlights the courage and resourcefulness of ordinary individuals, particularly children, in the face of unexpected challenges, emphasizing the positive outcomes that can arise from quick and decisive actions. Now let's move on to the question and answers. So the first question is, why does the author describe the noise that Bobby heard as very odd? So answer is, using the term very odd suggests that the sound is unusual, uncommon, or unexpected. Next question is, why did Peter ask Bobby not to run to the railway station? The answer is, Peter asked Bobby not to run to the railway station because he realized that there was not enough time to reach the station before the 11:29 train. Instead, he suggested they stay near the railway line and try to signal the approaching train using something red as a warning about the mound of stones and debris that had fallen onto the tracks. The urgency of the situation required a quick response, and waving red flags on the spot seemed to be the most practical solution to prevent a potential train accident. Moving on to the next question. What was Bobby's fear as they waited for the train? And the answer is, as they waited for the train, Bobby's fear was that the train won't stop or notice their warning signals. She was anxious that the oncoming train might ignore them, continue its speed around the corner, and collide with the fallen mound of stones and debris on the tracks. Next question. What was Bobby's fear as they waited for the train? How did she feel at this point in the story? And the answer is, Bobby's fear as they waited for the train was that it wouldn't stop or pay attention to their warning signals. She was worried that the train might rush around the corner without noticing their attempts to signal and collide with the fallen mound of stones and debris on the tracks. At this point in the story, Bobby felt a mix of anxiety and suspense. Her fear for the safety of the approaching train and the potential consequences of not being able to alert it heightened her emotional state. The narrative suggests her hands grew cold and she trembled with anxiety as she held the red flags, emphasizing the tension and concern she experienced during this critical moment. And the next question, why do you think Bobby didn't enjoy the praise she and her siblings received? Bobby didn't enjoy the praise she and her siblings received because she was overwhelmed by the gravity of the situation they had just experienced. Despite their heroism in preventing a potential train accident, Bobby was emotionally drained and shaken by the events. Additionally, she felt a sense of guilt or responsibility thinking about the danger they had encountered and the possibility of harm to others. The stress and fear she felt during the attempt to warn the train about the fallen debris left her feeling uneasy, and the praise and attention only served to prolong that discomfort rather than providing relief or satisfaction. She just wanted to get away and go home. Moving on to the next question. Read these sentences from the story and answer the questions that follow. First, it really did seem a little like magic. What is referred to as it? In the sentence, it really did seem a little kind magic. The pronoun it refers to the situation or events, particularly the movement of the trees and the falling mound of stones and debris. Why did it seem a little like magic? It seemed a little like magic because of the extraordinary and unusual events that were unfolding. The children observed the trees appearing to move like living creatures and the subsequent falling of stones and debris. These events were unexpected and seemed to defy the usual laws of nature, creating a sense of wonder and enchantment. Where were the children at this point in the story? At this point in the story, the children were near a railway line, specifically observing the trees moving and the unusual events that seemed magical to them. How did they react to what they saw? Answer. The children reacted with a mix of surprise and fascination to what they saw. They were initially startled and curious about the unusual noise and movement of the trees. As the events unfolded, they clung to the rail and watched breathlessly, describing the situation as magical and enchanting. Despite the mysterious nature of what they witnessed, they did not immediately retreat or panic. Second sentence. She saw the great black engine stop dead, but somehow she could not stop waving the flags. Who's she in this sentence? In this sentence, she refers to Bobby. Why did the train stop? The train stopped because the children, particularly Bobby, had successfully signaled the approaching train by waving red flags. The train's driver and firemen noticed the warning and, as a result, swiftly applied the brakes, bringing the train to a halt just about 20 yards from the location where Bobby was waving the flags. The prompt action of the children prevented a potential collision with the fallen mound of stones and debris on the tracks, ensuring the safety of the train and its passengers. Why do you think she could not stop waving the flags? Bobby couldn't stop waving the flags because she was feeling very excited and relieved. The intense situation where the children were trying to prevent a potential train accident had heightened her emotions. Even after the train came to a stop, Bobby may have still been caught up in the moment and the need to ensure that the train had fully acknowledged their warning. Additionally, the residual tension and shock from the events might have kept her in a state of continued action, manifesting as an inability to stop waving the flags immediately. Use stop dead in a sentence of your own. The old clock in the hallway suddenly stopped dead, leaving the room in complete silence. Moving on to the next question. Describe the character of Peter on the basis of your understanding of the story. Based on the story, Peter appears to be a responsible and quick thinking character. When faced with the potential danger of a fallen mount on the railway tracks, Peter takes charge of the situation. He assesses the urgency, checks the time on Mother's watch, and decides that running to the railway station wouldn't be fast enough. Instead, he suggests using red flags to signal the approaching train. Peter demonstrates a practical and resourceful mindset, showing leadership qualities in a crisis. His prompt behavior during the emergency contributes to the successful outcome of preventing a train accident. Next question. Describe the character of Bobby on the basis of your understanding of the story. Bobby is depicted as a brave and caring character in the story. She demonstrates courage and quick thinking when she, along with her siblings, encounters a dangerous situation near the railway line. Despite feeling frightened, Bobby does not give in to panic and instead remains focused on finding a solution to prevent a potential train accident. She actively participates in waving red flags to alert the oncoming train, showing her determination to help others and prevent harm. Additionally, Bobby's emotional depth is evident when she feels overwhelmed by the praise and attention she receives after the incident. Her desire to leave and go home suggests a humility and modesty in contrast to the accolades she receives. Next question. Do you think the children had an exciting adventure? Why or why not? What would you have done in their place? And my answer is yes, the children had an exciting adventure in the story. The unexpected and magical events near the railway line, the urgency to prevent a potential train accident, and the successful execution of their plan to signal the train with red flags all contribute to the excitement of the story. If I were in their place, I would likely have felt a mix of fear and excitement, similar to the characters in the story. I would have tried to stay calm and think quickly about the best course of action to ensure everyone's safety. Using red flags to signal the oncoming train was a clever and practical solution, and I would have likely followed a similar approach in a real life situation. The experience would indeed be memorable and thrilling, marked by a sense of accomplishment in averting a potential disaster. So, students, this was about the story Saviors of the Train. Please like and subscribe my channel for more such videos and happy learning.